AITA for hanging up on my family when my sister just had her baby? I, 34F, have two sisters who I'll call Sally, 31F, and B, 28F. I am close to both, or thought I was. B got married a few years ago and had been having fertility issues. She and her husband finally conceived through IVF, and I was ecstatic for her when I found out she was pregnant. There have been a few times over the years where I felt purposely left out of things. I was the only one who never got an invitation to BEA's graduation. She thought I wouldn't want to go. When her grandfather passed away, they had a big family get-together a few days later. I was the only one not invited. They didn't think I'd want to go, again. When B had her baby shower, she organized it on a day where she knew I wouldn't be able to attend. Upset at missing out, I dropped off at my parents' a beautiful hamper full of things I'd been buying for the baby and B, and included a handmade blanket that one of my aunts, recently passed, hand-knitted for my little boy when she found out I was pregnant 6 years ago. Throughout her pregnancy, B has said that the day she had the baby she only wanted our parents and her husband's parents to visit the hospital, and that then they wanted the first 24 hours at home by themselves with no visitors as they have a dog and wanted him to get used to baby first. Totally understandable and fine by me. B has had multiple medical complications throughout her pregnancy, which has meant she had to have an early C-section. I spoke to B the day before and told her my day was clear, at work but not a lot on, and that if she needed me she knew where I was and that I couldn't wait to hear from her. We didn't know the gender or anything, so very excited. On the day, I get an FB call around 1 p.m. from B in which she and my dad introduced me to my beautiful nephew. I was delighted. B then handed the phone to my mum as a nurse came in. My mum then informed me that Sally was there. My joy turned into devastation. I asked my mum why I hadn't been invited to the hospital too. She said because I was working that they hadn't thought I'd be able to go. I told her that was an issue for me to deal with and that if I'd asked, my manager would have let me leave to enjoy the moment with my family, but instead they were all there enjoying that beautiful moment without me, again. I hung up in tears from my mum. I've removed myself from the family group chat. I spoke to my manager at work who said she would have definitely let me leave for the afternoon and was shocked my family have done that. I messaged my mum afterwards and told her how upset I was, and her response was, "I'm sorry you feel that way." My manager said she's gaslighting me and said my feelings are absolutely valid. But was I overreacting? AITA for hanging up on my family? Update. First off, I just want to thank everyone for all of your supportive comments and to those who have shared their own stories. I've taken the time to read through everything the last few days. So after Thursday, I didn't hear anything from my family at all until today, Sunday. I was scrolling through FB and saw that all of my BIL's family were at the hospital on Thursday too. So the only people not invited were myself, my so and my son. I messaged my mother after I saw this and explained how I was now even more upset and asked what I have done. Her response was that I've done absolutely nothing, not to my sister or anyone. She tried making out that Sally went to the hospital of her own volition, which I do not believe. She would not have just turned up. She would have asked. My mum said that because I was working they had assumed I couldn't get time off. I explained how I manage my work is up to me. If they'd asked and I'd declined, that would be another matter entirely. Anyway, I've told my mother I'm going low contact, how this isn't the first time I've been excluded and that I'm deeply hurt by their actions. So that's it for now. I'm going to focus on my little family and my in-laws, who I saw today and were very loving and supportive. Again, thank you to everyone for taking the time to read and comment. It meant a lot. Update 2. Many of you asked for another update. B contacted me last night. She said she didn't remember ever telling me that no one was allowed at the hospital and that then plan was always for all of her in-laws to go and that she had already had a conversation with Sally about her going too. She said I must have misheard. I gently reminded her that my so had been sat in the room at the same time she had said no one at the hospital other than parents, so couldn't see how we'd both misheard that? That the first thing he had said to me when I told him Sally was at the hospital was she said no one other than yours or BIL's parents. She then said she had been upset that I hadn't reached out to her after the FaceTime call to check on her and the baby and that she'd refused to chase me. I told her that I had no idea what had been going on, whether she'd been discharged or anything, and that as a new mom I figured she wanted some time, which is understandable. I didn't expect her to chase me. She told me that they've had to go back to the hospital daily since they were discharged as the baby has been poorly. I told her I'm sorry about that, I genuinely am, and that I hope he gets better soon. She asked me when I'm going to see the baby. I told her I didn't know and that it would depend on an invitation. She told me the invitation is open but that she's feeling really sore and bruised at the minute, understandable, and doesn't know how she's going to feel, so that I need to put some time aside and check with them first if we did want to go through. I left it that in the end as it was gone 10 p.m. and needed some sleep. I'm honestly not too sure what to do. I spoke with my so last night who laid his thoughts and feelings down, total NC, but that he will support me whatever I decide to do. Update 3. So I messaged B back and told her that when she was feeling up to it, to let me know a day and we would go through. She left me on read and didn't respond. That's fine. I'm letting her get on with it. As for my mum, she's been sending messages and trying to FaceTime me. I've barely been responding to her messages. I haven't heard anything from Sally or my dad the last 2 weeks. This evening my mum FaceTimed. I wouldn't have answered it, but my son was sat next to me and got giddy when he saw his grandmother pop up on my phone, so I did. She tried to act all normal and nicey nice, but I was blunt. I could tell she was miffed at the end of the call that I was still being off with her. After the call I messaged her, probably shouldn't have done but I did and it's done now, and told her that until I got a proper face-to-face apology that this is the way it's going to be. She messaged back and said she's apologized loads. She sent the "I'm sorry you feel that way" and one message that did say that she was sorry, but in the middle of all the other waffle that came with it, and nothing face-to-face, and I told her that she'd tried to gaslight me the first time and only tried to apologize once over a text. She FaceTimed me again and told me that she had not tried to gaslight me, that she was sorry that I felt that way and that, and I quote, "You just let your feelings get the better of you." I told her again that no, that's not an apology. That my feelings are valid. She then said she was sorry, turned on the waterworks and told me she couldn't do this anymore and hung up. So, yeah. That's it up to this point. Other than that I've been good. Just focusing on my son and my day-to-day stuff with work etc. I've actually been okay and sort of come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to have that close-knit relationship with my family anymore. But that's okay. I have my son and my in-laws. They're the ones who need to be the important people in my life now. I doubt there'll be another update now, but thank you to everyone for taking the time to read and comment. It's really helped.